Hi there. Today we're gonna integrate Unity with FMOD, and I'm very excited to have this Unity project with no sound, which is coded by me, and of course I'm grateful for guys who deliver this awesome environment and vehicle visuals in this Unity project. First of all, this is the demo city by the Versatile Studio and Master RX-7 Akaji's White Comet toy, which was modeled by these guys. All I modified is this. I just added this shader for the headlight optics. You can see this pretty fancy optical effect, which is depending on the camera angle. It seems now it's time to run the game in the editor. When we've skipped the intro screen, we can escape one more time and see the dummy screen for the audio settings. For now, it has no environment sounds, no engine sound, no music, but before adding them, we have to integrate the audio engine with this game. So let's add the F mode into the project. Regarding version control, for me it was a reason to decide which option is better. If I exclude the banks from the version control, as is recommended by the official guide, other teammates have no chances to fetch those files. From the other side, if I include the banks into the version control, being the teammate from the audio team, I have a risk to commit the bank when it's not supposed to be committed there. There are a couple of ways to solve this conflict, and this is the topic for the people who in CI/CD stuff. For us, it would be simpler to ignore the bank files, assuming we've included the source FMOD project into the same repo or into the another one. For now, we don't see the FMOD menu, which means we don't have FMOD in the project. Let's set it going to Package Manager, then My Assets and FMOD. If you don't have FMOD, just add it via Asset Store, let's wait for a while and take a look what kind of situation I'm in. If you've added the FMOD into your project before, the wizard will automatically suggest you to remove the outdated binaries, what is quite handy, right? While Unity is restarting, I'm gonna share my plans on what we gonna do. All we have to do, the rest of it, we have to go through the wizard and be sure that we have this middleware in our project. So press the Copy New Native Libraries button and wait a bit till it's done. Since this is the first time, on the Updating tab, click Next, and on the Linking tab, you can see a couple of options there regarding the access to this authoring tool content. I'll choose FMOD Studio Project because that's the case when we have the project source, what gives us opportunity to debug the mixture and record the profiling sessions. There are nothing special for other tabs because we have the empty project, right? And the last important step here is the version control again. We should copy that into gitignore file across the project folder and paste it, for example, in the end of the file. Let's type fmod, paste it after, and voila. In my case, I especially used the more complicated file structure inside the repo, and that's why I have to replace those relative paths with mod nesting level relative to Unity folder. That's it for the version control setup, and we're close to the end of this wizard tour, where we have the interesting button which gives us ability to read the manual. The integration manual contains all these steps with a deeper explanation of all these things, but it also contains a lot of advices how to migrate your Unity project from built-in audio system to this middleware, especially how to replace audio sources with FMOD event instances across the Unity scene. You can also check the result of this wizard in the FMOD settings, clicking the button with the same name and see the path to the FMOD project firstly. Now it's supposed to add the sounds in the scene, but before doing that, I'm gonna show you guys the FMOD project, which will be the next chapter. See you later.